Nice. Here we are.
Hi, Bunny.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to be here too.
I am so excited. Welcome to the Real Santa Fe podcast. I want to let our guests know that today they're going to meet somebody who sees Santa Fe in a way few people do. And I think, Craig, that's mostly because of the amount of traveling you've done your entire life. My friend and my teammate, Craig Cunningham, has lived all over the country and traveled all over the world because of this incredible background in marketing.
Yes, yeah, I was very lucky. Well, so my story is I was born in Connecticut and we moved to Dallas when I was 10. And then I have lived 2 times in Boston in the 80s and in the 2000s. And my job, I was very lucky to have a job in hotel marketing. So I traveled to Europe, all over North America, South America, and even the Far East. So that's an old-fashioned term, the Far East. I was in China. So I've been very lucky, and then I've been able to call Santa Fe home for the last 6 years.
And visited there a lot before, right?
Yes, I have been coming to Santa Fe, like a lot of folks who grew up in Texas. We love to come to Santa Fe because it's pretty darn easy to get to, either driving or flying right into Santa Fe. And we love to come in the summertime to get out of the Texas heat and also to enjoy the opera, the Chamber Music Festival, the Spanish market, the Indian market, and just the beautiful weather. And then we love to come. Christmas is such a special time here, and I don't ski anymore, but used to like to come and ski as well. And I've actually owned a house here since 2014, but have been living here full time since 2019.
Wow. It seems longer than that because you are such a fixture here, but do you remember the very first time you came?
The very first time I came, I was probably 22 or 23, and I was just, shocked in a wonderful way at what a unique sense of style the place had in terms of the architecture. I had seen pictures of it, but to see the whole city in this beautiful Adobe style, the territorial style, the Pueblo Revival style, and just the unique culture and all of the great restaurants and all of the great art galleries and all of those things that from that time, I came back on an annual basis, probably twice a year.
I'm really curious about, I wonder because this has just always been, I came here, I don't know. I probably was an infant when I came here the first time, but I wonder what people think before they come. I wonder what sort of impression, aren't you? I mean, you and I see a lot of people who come here for the first time, and I think they think we're going to be sort of a backwater.
Yeah, I think they think it's going to be like the Wild West or something like that, or it's going to look like Phoenix, or one of the things.
They think it is Phoenix.
They think it is Phoenix.
They expect saguaros.
One of the things that's funny is when I was living in Boston and I would tell people I'm going to come for Christmas, they're like, "Oh, that's great. You'll be able to be out by the pool." And I'm like, "It's not Palm Springs. We're 7,000 feet up in the mountains. It'll be snowing. I'll be sitting in front of the fire and enjoying a nice glass of red wine." But I think what strikes people the first time, it doesn't look like any other place in North America. You could think that you're in a beautiful Spanish, colonial town in Mexico somewhere, somewhere in Spain. It just has I think, really the most unique sense of architecture in the United States. And of course, that was done by design by the fabulous architect John Gaw Meems, and back then it was the city fathers who proclaimed that this certain sense of architecture and style. It was always here, but became really popular starting in the early 20th century.
Right. I mean, in fact, I think that wasn't it downtown that we didn't used to have all those amazing portals, and everything wasn't a stucco building. So 1910 through 1920, there was, the Will Schuster and John Gaw Meems days.
Yes, yeah, and they, the story that I heard is when the railroad wasn't going to come to Santa Fe and it was in Lamy instead, everyone said, "Well, what are we going to do? We're at the state capitol, but what are we going to do to attract business and tourism?" And those folks the Pueblo style was always here. You know, it was a combination of Spanish and Native American styles, but they said, let's really encourage this, because before then, I think the capital was probably Victorian looking, and then
Right.
there was French Empire, and there was all this kind of stuff. But they really encouraged adapting and adopting these styles and the use of stucco, and it's turned it into this magical place. You know, just incredibly enchanting, and you feel like you're no place else in the world is like this.
So I'm curious, like what moment after all this traveling and you even represented a French hotel.
Yes, French chain called Sofitel. I was the VP of marketing for North and South America, so that was not a bad job.
Not a bad job. Every time we
Staying in 4.5, 4 and 5 star hotels all over North and South America. It was pretty darn nice.
Well, what happened? What was the moment when you said Santa Fe is my home? This is it.
Well, I think, you know, we wanted a place that was, you know, a nice manageable size, and Santa Fe is, you know, a beautiful, you know, size. We get upset when we have to wait in traffic for 10 minutes on Cerrillos, but that's about it.
More than one light cycle, and I'm like, I'm going home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
just disaster. But you know, we wanted, you know, the natural beauty of the place, first of all. I mean, to be driving around anywhere in Santa Fe and seeing the Jemez, the Sangres, the Ortiz, the Sandias, all of those things is just magical. And in the winter, seeing snow on it. But I think it's such a diverse and intellectually curious city that we really liked, you know, the people, in addition to, you know, the fact that we punch way above our weight in terms of restaurants. And one of the factoids that I learned was that Santa Fe is the 3rd largest in sales volume art market in the United States after New York and Los Angeles.
People can't believe that.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, you know, and it's not people just walking in off the street to buy art, although that does happen. But, you know, a lot of these galleries are very serious galleries. Then I have collectors from all over the world who buy from them. But I think I would have to say, ultimately, the people, I think people self-select to come to Santa Fe. They come because they're interested in the arts, they're interested in the outdoors, they're interested in the culture, the Native American culture, the Spanish and Hispanic culture, and it's a lovely blending of everything. Like, for example, on my street, 2 doors down, there's a retired drama professor from Yale, and her husband runs a think tank on the environment. And another guy up the street was the head of a music college in Chicago. And just everybody, you know, everybody has done something interesting. And even one of the best stories that I heard was a friend who used to work for the opera. And one time he was getting his car repaired down at Cerrillos, and his contract was up, and he was trying to decide whether or not he was going to stay. And the mechanic was like, well, you know, I really liked, you know, Tristan and Isolde this year, but I was really disappointed in so-and-so. And it was like the mechanic.
Right.
And it's like, if the mechanic is going to the opera, it's got to be a pretty darn interesting place to live. And so I think the other, you know, another interesting thing that I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but that we have the largest retired community of State Department people in the country. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, everyone, and you know, and the people that have lived here for multi-generations, families, you know, who trace their way all the way back to the Spanish land grants and all of that, you know, the incredible Native American culture here. You know, you always are winding up talking to somebody who's got a really interesting story to tell.
I always think Santa Fe is full of so many people who are much more interesting than I am. I mean,
you're very interesting.
Oh, no. This is like, it's just, you said that people self-select. There's this other thing that people say. They say that Santa Fe either embraces you or, sorry to say, sometimes it spits you out. And I have found that sometimes I'll have clients who move here, and after about 6 months, they're like, nope.
Can't do it.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. And so you're right that most of the people that end up staying here are people that were very purposeful. and then felt embraced
Yeah.
and at home.
Yeah.
That's how it worked for you, right?
Yeah, totally. And then there are people here that, have a place here, they have a place at Manhattan, or, a place in San Miguel de Allende. So they're the word peripatetic, they're traveling all the time.
Wow. I love it. I love
A
it.
word for the day, use peripatetic.
I love it when we're multisyllabic.
Use it at least one time in a sentence today.
I love that. I've made all these great notes because I want to get your insight. But what do you think? And Craig and I, we sell real estate
Yes,
together, and we're having a great time.
I'm part of the Bunny Terry group. Happy to be part of Bunny's team.
And look at us, how color coordinated
Exactly.
we are. You folks that are on the radio or on your earbuds are going to have to take a look
Exactly
on YouTube and see how well
we matched today.
We did not do this on purpose. But what do you think? I mean, some of the questions that we get asked by new buyers, or what do you think that people overlook that you'd suggest they don't? I mean, what's something that people come here with one idea, and then, I had, as an example, I had clients last week who I said, where have you guys been going to dinner? And they're like, we're cooking in our Airbnb. And I was like, what? I mean, you're like in one of the coolest food towns in the country. I don't think people know that.
No, I don't think a lot of people don't realize how diverse it is. And there are 5-star restaurants, 4-star restaurants, and then mom and pop places where you can get the best. As you know, I'm passionate about breakfast tacos, where you can get great breakfast tacos and moles. But, we also have great French restaurants, Indian. We've got some good sushi places now. So we've got a little bit of everything. But I think sometimes one of the things that is funny whenever you talk to somebody, it's like, well, I want a place close to the plaza because I want to walk to the plaza every single day. And the thing that they don't realize is, the plaza is great and the restaurants are great and all of that, but there are so many interesting neighborhoods all over town. The Rail Yard District now, the Baca District. I never pronounce it correctly, but Belema, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, where you've got a lot of great 1950s style houses. So they're or up in the mountains, or I was going to say Rancho Viejo, and so many different places, and you don't have to just be in one specific place for the views, because the views are everywhere. And even when you're just driving up the road, driving up Cerritos, in that huge traffic jam, which lasts 5 minutes, you're you're looking. It's like, wow, there's snow on Mount Balti today. It's
and there is still a lot of snow
in May.
Right.
So and I think a lot of people don't realize also just what a great active place it is. You can sometimes you can go skiing in the morning and go golfing in the afternoon, and the hiking trail system here is amazing. Now I need to get on it.
Let's do it
a lot more, but right up the street from me is the Dale Ball Trail, the Atalaya Trail, and also being, kind of in the center of the state, where you could go up to Taos, you can go to Chama, you can go to Silver City. There's so many amazing places to explore in New Mexico with Santa Fe as your home base.
So when people visit you, and I want people to know that Craig has this amazing Airbnb.
Yes, I do. I have an Airbnb.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. But when people visit you, when friends come to visit, what are the first 2 places you take them?
Well, let's see. That's a really good question. I will generally take them. Everybody likes to go to the Shed, of course.
Of course.
But right next door to us is really my favorite place, Palacio.
Oh yeah.
Damien and his wife Maria. It's a true mom and pop place, but amazing northern New Mexican food, and just a really fun atmosphere. And the other place I like to take people is up to 10,000 Waves.
Oh yeah.
We haven't
talked about that much.
10,000 Waves, it's it started in the 70s or the 80s, and it was kind of probably this hippy dippy groovy place back then. And now it looks like it's Japanese. It looks like it could be in Kyoto. And soak in the hot tubs, massages, and then they have an amazing Japanese restaurant is an ami, which, you know, you can get great Japanese style food, but, you know, with a modern kind of twist to it. And I think now, for a long time they didn't, but I think you can have sushi up there now too.
And they have great sake flights.
Yes, yeah, and again, incredible views. And they also have guest houses. You can stay up there. So I think that's a really unique place to take people, or take them out to Nambe Falls, Bandelier.
I've never been to Nambe Falls or Bandelier.
You've never been to Bandelier?
No.
We're going to pull your
No.
New Mexico license, girl. You got to get out to Bandelier.
I know. I feel so bad about that.
Well, you know, one other thing that people don't realize, because they do assume, oh, we're in the desert and it's going to be very brown, and it's really very green. I mean, we've got beautiful pinyon trees everywhere up in the mountains. And then my partner, Eddie, is a master gardener. It's his passion. And so right now our garden, which is terraced, is in the process of, it's like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and so they're just amazed at all of the flora that's here and the many things you can grow. Roses grow beautifully here. You know, geraniums, lavender, everything. Just it's really, in the summertime, what they don't realize is we really have a Mediterranean climate.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm curious about, I mean, we work all the time.
Yeah.
I'm curious what keeps you grounded.
You know, I think one of the things that really, when I wake up in the morning, I can just look out the window and I'm looking out at the foothills of the Sangres, or sitting in my living room having coffee in the morning and just looking out over the arroyo. And then all of a sudden, walking down my street in my little cul-de-sac, there'll be a family of deer walking by.
Or a coyote.
Or a coyote. Yeah,
yes.
And my dog Colby, it's like gets all worked up about the coyotes, but you know, just the nature, just sitting out and looking, and the blue skies. It's always beautiful blue skies.
Yeah. I don't know what the Georgia O'Keeffe quote is about the skies, but that's obviously what we all stay for. Yeah.
And I mean, so sometimes just the quietness of sitting outside on the patio, looking at the mountains, looking at all the trees. And you know, one of my best memories from a couple of winters ago is I was sitting in the morning having coffee, and I have big floor-to-ceiling windows in my living room, and all of a sudden this big buck with this rack of antlers was just kind of looking at the window, and you know, we're kind of like, hey, how's it going out there? And I mean, you don't get that a lot of other places.
No, and you don't get it. So here's another thing that I always want to tell people when they come here is, this is a town, really, the city population is under 80,000.
Yeah.
And yet we have incredible culture. That's gonna have to get edited out.
Who's up there?
Who goes there? Is that we still have live music every night somewhere.
Yep.
We still have national touring acts at the Lindsay.
Oh yeah.
You
know, it's like, let's see, I think Garrison Keillor was here last month. I don't know if you know Fran Lebowitz. She was,
yes,
you know, a very New York sardonic wit.
Yes.
I wouldn't say she's a comedian. She's more of a life observer.
Right.
But, you know, great music. John Baptiste is coming in
Santa Fe in September to the opera for 2 nights.
Yeah, and also we have all of these great local, like Eddie, my partner, is on the board of Pro Musica, which is a classical early music, a string quartet primarily, but you know, with other instruments as well. And they play amazing music, and then you've got the Desert Chorale, and just, you know, fun honky tonk music at the Tumbleweed, or Cowgirl, or any of those places. So you've got pretty much whatever you want. And there's actually a thing now. Oh, what is it called?
Let's stop for the toilet flushing.
It's Adam. We love Adam. It's called Chatter. and it's at the CCC, the Contemporary Center, on
Right.
I think it's either Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and there is all and it sells out, so you have got to buy your tickets early. I think it's $15, but they'll always have some sort of a musical. It's I think at 10 a.m. a musical performance or an author or something. It's both here and in Albuquerque, and it's just again this fun little interesting thing that you can go to and learn something new. And I think that's the thing about Santa Fe. You have the ability to learn something new every day from somebody.
Or does peripatetic work there?
Peripatetic works there too, yes.
So
our word of the day. I hope I used it correctly.
I know. So there is something we always talk to people about Santa Fe. It's not just a destination. It's really a way of living, right? Yeah. It's really an accepting and well, you tell me what you think it is.
Well, I'm gay, and it's got a large gay community, and but the thing about Santa Fe is everybody's accepting of everybody. I mean, right. You've got Anglo culture, you've got Hispanic culture, you've got Native American culture, you've got people here from India. With the national labs, Los Alamos, right. Up the road, you've got lots of people from all over the country, and
all over the world,
yeah, and people are accepting and again intellectually curious about where are you from, what do you do,
tell me your story,
yes. Yeah, and everybody yes. Everybody likes that, and one of the things I find the most interesting is when you talk to Native American or Hispanic families about some of them have, well, obviously the Native Americans, I mean, they were here first, folks. Yep. But then the Hispanic families where they go back to, some all the way back to the conquistadors.
400 years, yes.
One of the funniest things is one time I was doing a deal for a house out in Pecos, and the title work came back, and on microfiche was the original Spanish land grant, in beautiful cursive Spanish. It was pages and pages long. And it just blew my mind to think, and that is one of the things I think people don't realize how old Santa Fe is. Was it 1540, 1545, something like that?
Well, it depends on where you count from, but it is, I'm sorry, St. Augustine, but the oldest city in the United States.
Yeah, take that, St. Augustine.
Take that, yes.
And that we have the longest continuing operating Capitol building in North America,
because the municipal building, the Inn of the Governors.
Yeah, because it was
not the Inn of the Governors. I'm sorry, Palace of the Governors.
Palace of the Governors. The Inn of the Governors is a great place too. Yes. But the Palace of the Governors, which was founded by the conquistadors.
Right. We apologize for the stomping around, but the office just opened.
Yes.
And that's where we
are. And we're selling houses here, folks.
We are. We're having fun. Okay, so Craig, I just got to thank you for giving us your really generous and joyful look at Santa Fe. One of the coolest things about working with you is that you're always generous and joyful. So I'm just going to say, if you're ever in the office and the right reference comes along, Craig will just break into song.
I'll break into song. It's like it could be about. I have got a song for everything.
He does. Every address,
exactly,
every house. But I love this, and here's the cool thing. You're an example of how you can come from anywhere, and be at home here.
Yeah. And what is amazing, and I love working with you and our team, so much energy. But I came here and I thought I was going to retire, and I realized that I was a lousy retiree. And then also I had all of a sudden realized that there was money going out, no money coming in. But I hate it when that happens. But 5 years ago, I started a real estate career, and I'm pleased to say now, if you work hard in Santa Fe, you can. It's the Santa Fe dream of the American dream, because now I think I'm in the top 30 in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So along with you, the two of us together, when you add up teams, we're like about
3 or 4.
Yeah. Fun.
Yes. So where can people find you on Instagram?
So I'm at Santa Fe Craig on Instagram.
And what's your website?
It's www. Well, you don't have to say that anymore. City, but I can't remember what it's called.
Craig something.
Craig sells Santa Fe or something like that.
Nice.
Something obvious.
We'll find the link and we'll put it in the show notes. You can find Craig. And I want you to see Santa Fe the Craig way.
The Craig way. I would love to show you my Santa Fe, and that's another wonderful thing. Everybody has their Santa Fe.
Yes.
So
yes. Yes.
But anyway, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I'm just going to ask everybody out there to take a look at our other episodes. We've talked about food, we've talked about history, we've talked books with Ann Hillerman. So go back, take a look at what we've already recorded, and stay on, subscribe, and feel free to rate us because, yeah.
And Bunny is the social media maven of Santa Fe. She was doing social media before social media was cool.
I know. Thank you, everybody. We're so excited you were here. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.